Mama, what are you doing on the floor?
MMAESI. Why are you on your knees mopping this floor? Della's voice exploded through the hallway the moment he stepped into his mansion in East Legon, the words cracking like lightning across the marble tiles. He had just returned from work, exhausted, frustrated, hoping for peace, but instead, he froze at the sight before him. His elderly mother, MMAESI, was on her knees, her wrapper bunched around her, hands shaking as she dragged a soaked rag across the floor. A bucket of dirty water sat beside her. Sweat glistened on her forehead, though the air conditioner hummed softly above. And before the story deepens, what would you do if you came home from work and found your mother treated like this? Drop a comment telling us where you're watching from. MMASI jolted at the sound of his voice, her back stiffening. My son. Welcome, she whispered, her voice fragile. She tried to stand, but her knees trembled so badly she had to grab the wall. Della rushed forward and lifted her gently. Mama, who asked you to do this? Why are you cleaning? She shook her head slowly. It's nothing, my child. Just a little. No, his voice darkened. It's not nothing. Who told you to mop the house? Before she could answer, a familiar voice floated from the living room. I did. Della turned sharply. There stood Nora, his wife, dressed in a fitted silk blouse, hair perfectly arranged, nails glossy and long. Her arms were folded, and her expression, irritated, not ashamed, not surprised, irritated, as if he was the one causing trouble. Nora stepped closer, heels clicking softly. The cleaner didn't show up today. The floor was dirty. I asked her to help. She said she didn't mind. Della's jaw clenched. You asked my 72-year-old mother to mop the floor? Nora rolled her eyes, a small, careless flick that cut deeper than any insult. Della, please. Don't exaggerate. She's stronger than she looks. MMAESI lowered her eyes to the tiles, holding her hands together to keep them from shaking. Della turned to her gently. Mama, did you really volunteer for this? She hesitated. That hesitation was the spark that set fire to the room. Della looked at Nora again, this time with something darker in his eyes. Something that had been building for months. Nora, what exactly has been happening in this house while I'm at work? Nora scoffed. Don't start, Della. I'm not in the mood. I've had a long day too. Oh, I'm sure you have, he said bitterly. Busy days, late nights, unexplained outings. Nora's eyes narrowed. Are you accusing me of something? I'm asking questions, Della said quietly. Quietly, but dangerously. Domestic betrayal. Emotional manipulation. The signs were all there. And now, with his mother forced into house chores like a servant, everything clicked together in a painful rush. Nora folded her arms tighter. If you want to jump into conclusions, go ahead. I'm not explaining myself to someone who doesn't appreciate what I deal with every day. Della stepped closer until he was inches from her face. What you deal with? You're the mistress of this house. You don't lack anything. So tell me, why are you treating my mother like a housemaid? Nora's cheeks flushed with anger. Because she interferes. She watches everything I do. She listens to my phone calls. She complains about the food, the cleaners, the decor. She is my mother, Della snapped. This is her son's house. She has every right to be here. And so do I, Nora shot back. Or did you forget I'm your wife? The woman who keeps this house running while you disappear to work 12 hours a day. Behind them, unnoticed, tears began rolling down MMAESI's face. I didn't want trouble, she whispered weakly. I only wanted to help. But neither one heard her. The argument swelled larger. Della pointed at the rag on the floor. You humiliated her, Nora. She embarrassed me first. Nora hissed. She told your sisters that I don't cook, that I don't care about you, that I spend money carelessly. Did she lie? Della shot back. Nora's lips trembled, with anger, not guilt. So that's it. You believe her more than me. I believe what I see, he said. And today, I saw my mother on her knees. A tense silence fell. Then a voice came from the staircase. It was Baiko, the security guard, hesitant, nervous. Sir, should I say something? Nora jerked around, eyes blazing. Baiko, don't you dare. Della's attention snapped to the guard. What is it? Speak. Baiko swallowed hard. Sir, there are things I've seen. Things that happen when you're not around. Nora exploded. Baiko. I said shut up. Della raised a hand. He will speak. Now. The guard's eyes darted between them. Sir. I don't want to cause problem, but Madam Nora treats MMA ESI badly. Very badly. And she's always meeting someone when you travel. Nora gasped. You lying fool. Della felt something collapse inside him. Meeting who? Baiko shifted uneasily. A man. A certain man who drives a black Range Rover. Every Wednesday. Every Friday. Sometimes on Saturdays. The words punched the air out of Della's chest. Nora burst into defensive tears. It's not what it sounds like. He's just a friend, a business client, someone helping with my charity work. Your charity work? Della repeated slowly. She nodded feverishly. Then why, Della whispered, did the bank send me an alert last week that $5,000 was withdrawn from our joint account in East Legon, at the same time your client was seen here picking you up? Nora froze. Her tears stopped mid-fall. Even MMA ESI's breath caught. Della stepped back, staring at his wife like he was seeing her for the first time. Nora, what have you truly been doing behind my back? Nora's hands shook. Della, please. Let me explain. But before she could speak, Della's phone buzzed. A message flashed on the screen from an unknown number. Check the camera in your living room. 3 weeks ago. Around 2 p.m. Della's heart hammered. He slowly raised his eyes to Nora. Her face went pale. Without another word, he walked to the living room wall, pressed the smart screen, and pulled up the surveillance system. Nora lunged forward. Della, wait. Don't open. But the footage was already loading. 10%. 40%. 65%. 85%. 100%. The screen flashed to life. And the moment the video started playing, Della staggered back. Nora screamed. And Miss I pressed her hand to her chest. Because what appeared on the screen was something that could destroy a marriage in seconds. What do you think Della saw in that footage? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more gripping African family dramas. Comment your guess below. Stories_Stoner. The room fell silent except for Nora's shaky breathing. The footage on the smart screen played in cold, merciless clarity. The timestamp in the corner read, 3 weeks ago, 2:07 p.m. Della's eyes narrowed as the living room camera showed Nora, dressed casually in leggings and a loose top, pacing back and forth, checking her phone nervously. She kept glancing at the front door like she was expecting someone she shouldn't be expecting. Then the door opened. And a tall man entered the house. Not a relative. Not a neighbor. Not a charity worker. A man none of them recognized. Except Nora. She ran straight into his arms. Gasps erupted through the hallway. Even the maids who were hiding behind the pillar covered their mouths. And the way Nora hugged the man, long, tight, familiar, told a story that no words could deny. Della felt his stomach twist. His hands clenched so tightly his knuckles whitened. On the screen, the man tilted Nora's chin and kissed her. A slow, intimate kiss that belonged to lovers, not acquaintances. Nora screamed in real life, rushing to the screen. Stop it. Stop the video. Della, please. Della blocked her with one arm, his eyes never leaving the screen. No. We're watching everything. Nora trembled violently. It's not what you think. Then what is it? Della snapped. Explain. A kiss inside my house. Inside my living room. Nora's mouth opened but no sound came out. The footage continued. The man lifted Nora into his arms. She laughed, a soft, playful laugh Della hadn't heard from her in years, and the two disappeared up the staircase, toward the master bedroom. Mmasi let out a broken, painful sigh. Her frail hands pressed against her chest. Nora. So this is what you've been doing? Nora burst into tears. Mama please, don't say anything. I can explain. I swear I can explain. But even she didn't believe her own voice. Della turned the video off abruptly. The silence left behind was louder than the footage. He stared at Nora, not with anger anymore, but with disappointment so deep it made his voice soft and cold. Nora, how long? She wiped her tears with shaking hands. Della, please, don't do this. It was a mistake. It happened only once. Once, he repeated. Baiko said the man visits regularly. Wednesdays. Fridays. Sometimes Saturdays. Nora shook her head violently. No. That's not true. He's lying. He wants to destroy our marriage. Why would he lie? Della asked. For what? Money. Favor. My God has no reason to risk his job by accusing you. Nora's lips trembled. Tears streamed down her face in uneven rivers. Mmasi reached out weakly. My son. Don't let this scatter your home. Please. But Della could barely hear her. Betrayal was a heavy fog choking every breath. He stepped back and leaned on the dining table, staring at nothing. I worked every day, every night, believing I was building a future for us. For our children. For this family. And all the while, you were entertaining another man under my roof. Nora dropped to her knees at his feet. Della, please. Look at me. It wasn't like that. He came to discuss business with me. The kiss. It just happened. He glared at her. Business? Do you discuss business on my bed too? Nora clenched her teeth, sobbing harder. Della, please. I was lonely. You were always gone. You stopped touching me. You stopped complimenting me. You didn't have time for me anymore. And this was your solution? He asked quietly. She cried harder, gripping his trousers. I made a mistake. Please don't throw our marriage away. But her words bounced off a wall that had already cracked too deeply. Della gently pried her hands off him. You didn't just cheat on me. You disrespected my mother. You spent my money without explanation. You lied, again and again. Nora collapsed on the floor, shoulders shaking. I'm sorry. Please, Della. I love you. A bitter laugh escaped him. Love. You don't love me, Nora. You love comfort. You love lifestyle. You love freedom without accountability. Her sobs grew louder. Baiko stepped forward shakily. Boss, there's more. Nora's head jerked up. No. Baiko, I swear I will make sure you regret. Della's voice cut through her threat. Let him speak. Baiko took a deep breath. Sir, that man, the one in the video, he's been coming even before you traveled. Sometimes he stays 4 or 5 hours. And he hesitated. And what? Della demanded. And Madam Nora gives him envelopes. Thick ones. Sometimes she withdraws cash after he leaves. Nora screamed. Lies. All lies. But the panic on her face told the truth. Della shook his head slowly. Withdraws cash. Gives him envelopes. Nora, what exactly have you been paying him for? I wasn't paying him, she wailed. He was helping me with charity expenses. Della held up his phone. Then explain why the bank flagged unusual withdrawals linked to your card. Explain the missing $5,000. Explain the strange transactions you hid in the housekeeping category. Nora froze. Her tears stopped. Her breathing stilled. Della leaned closer. You weren't cheating with just your body. You were cheating with money too. MMAESI wiped her tears. Nora, you have hurt my son. Suddenly, Nora's expression changed. The sobbing softened. The trembling stopped. And her face grew stiff, almost defiant. Fine, she whispered. If you want to believe the worst of me, then believe it. Della blinked. What? Nora stood up slowly, her posture suddenly cold and sharp. If you want to trust your mother and your guards over your own wife? Fine. Let's see how long they keep you warm at night. Let's see who stands by you when your precious business collapses. Della stared at her in disbelief. Are you threatening me? Nora gave a cold, humorless smile. You think you're the only one with secrets? She stepped closer, lowering her voice. Della, before you judge me, maybe you should check your own bedroom camera from 2 months ago. Silence. Every head in the room snapped toward Della. Even he froze, confused. Nora tilted her head with a smirk. Play that one, if you're brave. But the chilling part was not her words. It was the fact that she said them with absolute confidence. Before anyone could move, Nora walked away slowly, her heels echoing down the hallway. And Della felt something he hadn't felt all day. Fear. Because he knew something. There was a night, 2 months ago, he could not fully remember. For a long moment, Della stood frozen in the middle of the dining room, Nora's final words replaying in his mind like a haunting drumbeat. Maybe you should check your own bedroom camera from 2 months ago. Every sound in the house seemed to fade. The air conditioner hummed faintly. A spoon clattered somewhere in the kitchen. Baiko swallowed loudly. And MMAESI held her head in her palms, whispering prayers under her breath. Della's pulse thudded painfully against his ribs. He didn't remember anything unusual happening 2 months ago. Just long work nights. Endless meetings. Stress. Fatigue. But the way Nora said it, confidently, viciously, almost victorious, planted a seed of doubt so poisonous it spread through his veins instantly. Could there be something? Something he missed? Something she knew, but he didn't? He turned to Baiko. Did anything happen 2 months ago? Anything strange? Baiko shook his head quickly. No, sir. Not that I can recall. You were traveling often. Madame Nora stayed home mostly, until she started seeing that man. Della rubbed his forehead, breathing heavily. This doesn't make sense. From the staircase, Nora's heels clicked faintly as she ascended to the bedroom. Her confidence was unsettling, almost mocking, as if she knew something that could flip the situation on its head. MMAESI touched her son's arm gently. Della, my child, don't let this woman confuse you. She has already shown you who she is. But Della wasn't sure anymore. Not because he trusted Nora, but because he had learned something painful over the years. The guilty often hid behind half-truths, mixing lies with just enough reality to create chaos. He needed clarity. He needed facts. He needed the truth, even if it shattered him. He turned sharply and walked to the smart screen again. His hand trembled slightly as he opened the surveillance system, scrolling through the dates. Nora's voice drifted down from upstairs. Are you afraid, Della? Or are you guilty of something yourself? Her tone was taunting. He ignored her. Baiko, Della said quietly, bring me the backup drive. The one in the security office. Yes, sir. As Baiko hurried off, Nora reappeared at the top of the stairs, leaning against the railing like a queen watching a struggle below her. Her eyes were sharp. Too sharp for a woman who should be broken with shame. Della, she said softly, you think I'm the only one with secrets? You don't know everything that happens under your roof. Della's stare hardened. What are you talking about? She smirked. Play the footage. You'll see. MMAESI hissed under her breath. This woman, she is witchcraft. Pure witchcraft. Trying to confuse a man using lies. But something inside Della, the same instinct that had kept him alive in business, whispered. Check it. Check everything. Don't assume. Don't trust. Verify. A few minutes later, Baiko returned with the small external drive. Della connected it to the system, selected the date Nora mentioned, 2 months ago. He clicked on the feed from the master bedroom camera. Nora descended the stairs slowly, like she wanted front row seats to his reaction. The footage loaded. Della's heartbeat thundered. The screen blinked. 10%. 30%. 70%. 100%. The video began. The bedroom was dimly lit, curtains drawn, late evening. And then, a figure entered the room. It was Della. He frowned. This is just me. But then, another figure appeared behind him. A woman. Not Nora. Not a relative. Someone younger. Taller. Slim. Wearing a short dress. Someone Della did not remember inviting into his home. The whole room went silent. MMAESI gasped loudly. EI. Who is that? The woman approached Della in the footage, standing close, too close. She whispered something in his ear. Della from the video rubbed his temples and sat on the edge of the bed, looking exhausted, confused. Then the woman sat beside him. Closer. Closer. Della in real life stepped back, his breath short. I don't remember this. Nora stepped forward, arms folded smugly. Oh. You don't remember having a woman in your room? In your house? On your bed? Her voice dripped with wicked satisfaction. MMAESI clutched her wrapper. Della. Who is this girl? The footage continued. Della in the video stood and stumbled slightly, as if dizzy. The woman held his arms, guiding him. She whispered again. He shook his head weakly. Then she pushed him gently onto the bed. Pause it, Della whispered. But his hand shook too much to touch the screen. It was Baiko who paused the footage. The room throbbed with shock. Nora leaned on the table, breathing slowly, savoring the moment. That was the night you came home drunk from your friend's bachelor party. You couldn't even walk straight. And someone brought you company. I thought you were faithful. I thought you respected our marriage. But you want to judge me. Her smile widened. You're not innocent either, Della. Della shook his head violently. This is not right. I don't remember any of this happening. Convenient, Nora sneered. Baiko swallowed. Sir, I remember that night. You came home late. You looked sick, not drunk. More like someone had put something in your drink. MMAESI gasped. Poison. No, Mama, Baiko said quickly. But he looked drugged. Nora rolled her eyes. Oh, please. Stop creating excuses for him. Della walked closer to the screen, staring at the woman beside his past self. I don't know her. I have never seen her in my life. Nora shrugged. Maybe you saw more of her than you think. Her voice cut deep. MMAESI shook her head firmly. My son does not cheat. Someone set him up. Nora laughed bitterly. Then who brought her? Who paid her? Who opened the door that night? Spirits. Della's eyes narrowed. He turned to her slowly. Nora, how do you know so much about this? I never told you about that night. Nora blinked. A tiny mistake. Barely noticeable. But Della saw it. Why are you so familiar with the details? He asked softly. Why do you know when I arrived? How tired I looked? That the woman whispered something? That I was drugged? Nora froze, mouth slightly open. Della stepped closer, eyes cold, sharp, calculating. Nora, were you involved in this? Her breath hitched. MMAESI gasped. EI, Nora. Did you set up my son so you can justify your own cheating? For the first time, Nora's confidence cracked. Just a little. Answer me, Della said. Nora looked away. And that silence was louder than a confession. For the first time since the confrontation began, the house was completely silent. No shouting. No accusations. Just pure, cold tension. And Nora standing frozen like someone whose secrets had finally been cornered. Della took one step toward her. Then another. Each step slow, measured, dangerous. Nora, he said quietly, I asked you a question. She swallowed, her eyes darting briefly toward the front door, as if calculating whether she could escape the conversation entirely. But MMAESI moved quickly, like a lioness protecting her cub. She shifted to block Nora's path. Answer him, she said. Did you bring that girl to my son's bedroom? Nora's hands trembled, just slightly, and she hid them behind her back. I didn't. I wasn't. She inhaled sharply and straightened her posture. I am not the one on trial here. But Della's voice dropped even lower. A tone he almost never used. You will be, if you don't explain why you know details I never told you. Nora scoffed and folded her arms, trying to regain her composure. Because it's obvious. Anyone could see you were. No, Della cut in. This isn't guesswork. You described things that happened in the room before the camera system was activated that night. That means you either saw it, or heard it from someone. Baiko stepped forward hesitantly. Sir, after reviewing more footage, I noticed something else. All heads turned toward him. What? Della asked. Baiko pointed to the paused video. The woman entered your room. With a door code. She didn't break in. She knew the code. MMAESI clutched her head. CEO. Nora. That girl used your code, didn't she? Nora snapped. I don't share my code with anyone. But her voice cracked at the end. Della's eyes sharpened. Then explain how a random woman walked into our bedroom using a code only you and I know. Nora stared at Della, and for a split second, fear flickered in her eyes. Not guilt. Not shame. Fear. A fear that suggested someone else was involved. Someone worse. Someone dangerous. But before she could speak, the doorbell rang. Loud. Sharp. Insistent. Baiko stiffened. Were you expecting anyone, sir? No. MMAESI whispered. Jesus, who now? The bell rang again, this time followed by heavy knocking. Boom. 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 Della moved to the door cautiously. Who is it? A deep male voice responded. Open the door, Mr. Della. It's urgent. Urgent. Nora's eyes widened, and this time she did not hide her fear. Della opened the door slowly. 3 men stood outside. Not police. Not neighbors. Not friends. They wore dark blue security uniforms with no visible logos. Tall. Broad. Intimidating. At the center was a stern-looking man in a gray suit. He didn't smile. He didn't greet. He simply said, "We need to speak with your wife." Nora immediately stepped backward. No. No, no, no. I told you I needed more time. Della's heart dropped. Nora. Who are these people? But Nora's breathing turned rapid, panicked. Please, not here. Not in front of them. Let's talk privately. The suited man stepped inside without invitation. His presence filled the room instantly. We gave you a deadline, Mrs. Nora, he said. You missed it. Della stepped in front of Nora instinctively. Who are you? What deadline? The man ignored him and spoke to his team. Check the house. 2 guards immediately began scanning the living room, the dining area, the hallway, not searching, but inspecting. Like they were verifying something. Nora's voice trembled. Please, please don't do this here. I told you I'm working on it. I will get the money. Money. Della turned sharply. What money? The man finally looked at him. When your wife took the loan, she used this house as partial collateral. Silence. A heavy, bone-crushing silence. Della's brain stopped working. What loan? He whispered. Nora shook her head violently. Della, please, I can explain. How much? Della demanded. The man replied coldly. 480,000. MMAESI screamed. EI. 480,000 gone Mercedes. Nora. Are you mad? Della staggered back like someone had slapped him. When? He asked. 8 months ago, the man said. Della blinked. 8 months. That was before the cheating started. Before the fights. Before everything fell apart. Nora had been hiding debt that could destroy them long before the marriage cracked. But something didn't add up. What kind of loan requires men like you? Della asked quietly. The man stared at him, cold, unblinking. Let's just say, we expect our money back on time. Nora fell to the floor, holding her head. Please, just give me 2 more weeks. Please. I'm begging. No, the man replied. Time is up. And if you don't pay today, we take what belongs to us. Starting with this house. Della stepped forward. You can't just. The man raised one hand. If you interfere, you become part of the debt. MMAESI gasped and clung to her son. Della, don't let them harm you. The suited man looked around the house one more time, then turned to Della. Ask your wife what she really spent the money on. Nora froze. Her breath stopped. Her eyes filled with tears, not of guilt, but of terror. Della whispered. Nora, what did you do? But Nora said nothing. And that silence was the loudest answer of all. What do you think Nora borrowed almost 500,000 Mercedes for? Is it connected to the strange woman in Della's bedroom? Drop your theories in the comments. For a long moment, nobody in the living room breathed. The suited man and his guards walked out, leaving behind a darkness heavier than their presence. The door clicked shut, but the echo felt like it shook the walls. Nora remained on the floor, her hands over her face, trembling like a leaf caught in harmattan wind. Della stared at her. Not with anger. Not with disbelief. But with a coldness she had never seen in his eyes before. What did you spend that money on? He asked quietly. Nora lifted her head slowly. Della, please. Answer me. His voice didn't rise. It didn't need to. The calmness was more terrifying than shouting. MMAESI moved closer to her son. My child, be careful. Her silence means the truth will be painful. But Nora's lip quivered. I was desperate. I didn't plan for things to go this far. What things? Della demanded. Nora stood shakily and wiped her tears. Della, you remember when we tried for a child and the doctors said I had complications? He stiffened. That had been one of the darkest moments in their marriage. Yes, he said. Nora swallowed. I went to see another specialist. A very expensive one. MMAESI hissed under her breath. At what point did a hospital start sending thugs to collect money? Talk true. Nora shook her head violently. It wasn't like that. I didn't know they were that kind of loan company. I just needed the money fast. For what? Della pressed. Nora's silence returned. Heavy, suffocating. Don't make me repeat myself, Della warned. Finally, she whispered, for fertility procedures. Della's eyes widened. What? I wanted to surprise you, she said, her voice cracking. I wanted to give you what you always wanted. A child. I didn't want you to look at me with pity anymore. I didn't want your mother to keep blaming me. I didn't want your cousins asking when you'd finally be a father. Her tears fell faster. So I borrowed the money to try again. I thought if I gave you a baby, everything else would fix itself. Della stared at her in shock. Then slowly, his shock turned into anger. 8 months ago, he asked quietly. Before we even talked about trying again? Before we visited the first specialist? You were already borrowing money behind my back. Nora nodded helplessly. MMAESI stepped forward. But the question remains, where did the money go? Which doctor? Which hospital? Which receipt? Nora looked down at her hands. I don't have receipts. Why not? Della asked sharply. Nora's shoulders slumped. Because the procedure failed before it even started. The man who introduced me to the specialist, he turned out to be a scammer. Silence. Absolute silence. Della closed his eyes. So you were scammed, out of almost 500,000 sadies? Yes. And you hid it? Yes. And you let the debt grow? Yes. And you let them use our house as collateral? Nora's voice broke. I didn't know they would enforce it. Rage twisted inside Della like a knife. You thought I wouldn't find out, he whispered. You thought you could bury this. She dropped to her knees again. Please don't leave me. Please. Della. I swear, I didn't cheat on you. I didn't bring that woman into our room. I've made mistakes, but I would never hurt you like that. Stop lying. MMAESI snapped. You think we are children. The evidence is clear. But at that moment, Baiko stepped forward. Actually, sir, there's something else you should see. Della turned. What now? Baiko hesitated, then opened another file on his tablet. This isn't from your house cameras. This is from the estate security system. The front gate recordings. Yesterday night. He pressed play. Nora turned pale. The footage showed a familiar car driving into the estate at 10:47 p.m. A black Honda with tinted windows. Della frowned. That's not my car. Baiko nodded. Yes, sir. But look at who comes out. The car parked. The driver's door opened. And a man stepped out. Tall. Broad-shouldered. Wearing a cap pulled low. He walked confidently toward the house. Like he'd been there before. Nora gasped. No. No, Baiko, stop it. Stop it now. Baiko continued playing the footage. The gate guard greeted the man without surprise, meaning he was familiar. Della's heart pounded. Nora. Who is that? She backed away. Stop the video. Stop it. But the footage didn't lie. The man walked straight up to Della's house. Looked around. Typed something into the front door lock pad. And the door opened. Della felt his stomach twist. He has the code, he whispered. Nora burst into tears. Please turn it off. But Baiko didn't. The man walked inside and closed the door behind him. Baiko paused the footage there. Silence. A long, choking silence. Who is that man? Della finally asked. Nora couldn't speak. Her head dropped. Her whole body shook. MMASI pointed a trembling finger at her. You wicked girl. You lied. You swore on your mother's grave that you were faithful. And now this. Nora screamed. It's not what you think. Then tell me what to think. Della shouted for the first time. Nora looked at him with broken eyes. He was helping me. He was the one who claimed he knew the fertility specialist. He said he could get me a discount if I gave him the house code to pick up some documents. Della stared at her as if she was speaking another language. You gave a stranger our house code. Nora sobbed. I didn't know he was using it for anything else. Della, I swear I didn't cheat. I swear. But Della raised a hand. No. Don't swear. Not anymore. He turned to Baiko. Find out who that man is. Everything. His name. His background. His connection to my wife. And what exactly he was doing in my house. Baiko nodded. Already working on it, sir. Nora grabbed Della's wrist desperately. Please don't do this, please. But Della pulled his hand away. You have done enough damage, Nora. Then he walked toward the stairs. MMAESI followed him quickly. But just as Della reached the top step, Biko's phone beeped. He checked it. And his face changed instantly. Sir, he called out. Della turned. Biko swallowed hard. We found his name. Della came back down. Who is he? Biko showed him the screen. And Della's entire body went rigid. That man, Biko said slowly, is connected to someone you know very well. Nora broke down crying. Della's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. Biko. Who is he? Biko took a breath. He's, actually, your brother's friend. Della froze. His eyes darkened. And his world turned upside down. Della couldn't breathe. His brother's friend? Of all the possibilities, that was the one that cut the deepest. He snatched the tablet from Biko's hand and stared at the name on the screen. Torgby. A name he knew too well. A man who used to follow his younger brother everywhere like a shadow. A man who once borrowed money from Della and never paid back. A man Della had warned everyone in the family about. And now he was walking into his house at night, using his door code. Della's voice was barely more than a whisper. Why would Torgby come into my home? Nora burst into uncontrollable sobs. Della, please, it's not what you think. He turned sharply. Then say what it is. I didn't know he was planning anything. He told me he needed the code to collect hospital documents. I swear I didn't know he was. Stop lying. Della roared. MMAESI held her chest. So this girl has finished us in this house. After all the respect we gave you. After we welcomed you as a daughter. Nora knelt in front of Della. I was desperate and stupid, but not unfaithful. I didn't sleep with him. I didn't bring any woman into your room. I didn't cheat on you. Then explain why a man connected to our family walked into my home the same night a strange woman entered my bedroom. Della's voice was cold enough to freeze metal. Nora trembled. I don't know. I swear I don't know. Biko cleared his throat. Sir, I've just checked Torgby's call logs. And yesterday, he had 6 calls with one person back to back. Della frowned. Who? Biko turned the screen toward him. The name displayed made MMAESI clap her hands over her mouth in horror. God forbid. Nora screamed. No. No, Biko, stop. But the truth was already loose. The person Torgby called repeatedly was Nora. Della stared at her like she was a stranger. You said you didn't speak to him recently. I didn't want to worry you. I was trying to fix the mess. You were consulting the same man who scammed you? Behind my back. After he entered my house. Nora reached for him again, but he stepped away. Della, please. I was scared. He threatened me. Della froze. Threatened you? His eyes narrowed. Threatened you with what? Nora hesitated. Her breath faltered. She looked down at her shaking hands, and whispered. He said if I didn't cooperate, he would reveal something from my past. The room went deathly silent. Della stepped closer, voice low and dangerous. What past? Nora shook her head. I can't say it. I can't. Yes, you can, Della said, jaw clenched. Because at this point, nothing you say can shock me more than what I already know. But Nora covered her face and sobbed harder. I'm begging you. Please don't make me say it. Della's voice hardened. Nora, if you don't tell me the truth now, I will walk out of this house and never come back. Her hands dropped slowly. Her eyes lifted to his. And she whispered the words that shattered the entire room. Della, the reason I can't have children isn't medical. Della's heart stopped. Nora swallowed painfully. It's because of something I did, long before I met you. What did Nora do in her past that destroyed her ability to have children? And why is Torgby using it to blackmail her? Della felt the room tilt. What do you mean? He asked quietly. His voice was no longer angry, just hollow. Nora wiped her tears with trembling fingers. It wasn't an illness, or a natural condition. It was something I did. A choice I made, years before I met you. MMASI sat down slowly, her hand over her mouth. What kind of choice stops a woman from having children? Nora looked like she wanted to disappear. I was 17, she whispered. I was immature, and scared, and alone. I got involved with a much older man. Someone who lied to me. Someone who promised he would take care of me. Della's jaw tightened. What does that have to do with this? Everything, Nora cried. When I got pregnant, he told me his wife would kill me. He begged me to get rid of the baby. He said he would leave me if I didn't. MMAESI gasped loudly. Della's expression was unreadable. Nora continued, her voice shaking violently. I was young. I was stupid. I was afraid of everyone. So I went to the cheapest, most unsafe clinic, and something went wrong. Her voice cracked. They damaged my womb. The room went silent. Not even the fan made a sound. Della felt like someone had taken a hammer to his chest. You never told me, he whispered. I thought you'd reject me, Nora sobbed. Every man I dated after that left me when they found out. When I met you, you were kind, patient, good. I didn't want to lose you. I thought, maybe it wouldn't matter someday. And when we started trying for a child? Della asked, voice trembling. Nora covered her face. I panicked. I lied. I said the doctor didn't know the cause. I thought I could fix everything quietly before you discovered the truth. That's why I borrowed the money. I thought if I could find the right specialist, maybe they could repair what was damaged. Della walked backward until he hit the wall. So all this time, you knew there was no chance of pregnancy. Nora cried harder. I didn't want to hurt you. I love you, Della. More than any man I've ever known. But you hurt me by lying, Della said softly. The softness was worse than shouting. MMAESI shook her head. This is why truth is important. Lies will always betray you in the end. But Della wasn't looking at his mother. His eyes were fixed on Nora. Broken, scared Nora. Where does Torgby come in? He asked finally. Nora swallowed hard. He knows the man from my past. The one who pushed me into the clinic. They used to work together. Della's eyes darkened. So Torgby blackmailed you with that story? Nora nodded. He said if I didn't give him money, he would tell you everything. And the strange woman in my room? Della asked. Nora broke down again. I swear I don't know her. I swear on my life. I didn't send her. Della didn't respond. Biko stepped forward suddenly. Sir, Torgby just posted something online. Della froze. What did he post? Biko's eyes widened as he read. You need to see this yourself. He turned the phone around. And the image on the screen made Della's entire body go numb. A picture of the strange woman, standing inside Della's bedroom, smiling, and holding a handwritten note that said, Ask your wife who sent me. Della stared at the picture on Biko's phone, his heart pounding like a drum inside his chest. The strange woman stood confidently in his bedroom, smiling as though she owned the place. But the note in her hand was the true dagger. Ask your wife who sent me. Nora fell backward onto the carpet. No, 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 please believe me. I didn't send her. Della, you have to believe me. But Della didn't answer. He felt himself standing outside his own body, watching his life crumble from a distance. MMAESI shook her head slowly. What kind of evil is this? First lone men, then strange men entering the house, now a woman sent to disgrace us publicly. Biko's phone buzzed again. Sir, the post is spreading. People are sharing it. Bloggers are picking it up. Della closed his eyes. Of course they are. This wasn't just betrayal now. This was reputation. This was humiliation. This was public disgrace, the kind that could destroy a man's career and family name. Nora crawled toward him on her knees. Della, look at me. Look in my eyes. I swear on everything I love, I did not send that woman. He looked at her finally. Her eyes were red, swollen, full of fear. But fear of what? Fear of losing him? Or fear of being exposed? Della took a deep breath and spoke carefully. If you didn't send her, then who did? Nora shook her head helplessly. I don't know. Something in her tone felt true. But Della's heart was too battered to trust blindly. Biko cleared his throat. There's more. Della frowned. More what? Biko turned his screen toward him again. Torgby posted a caption under the picture. Della leaned in. The caption read, Loyalty is a lie. Marriage is a game. Let the truth come out. Nora screamed. He's doing this. He's framing me because I refuse to keep quiet. I refuse to keep paying him. Della felt something shift inside him. Because that made sense. If Torgby wanted money, or revenge, destroying Nora's marriage would be the fastest way to break her. But one question still burned like fire. Why involve MY Room? Why bring a woman there? MMASI's eyes were dark with suspicion. My son. Sometimes betrayal doesn't come from far. It comes from those who know your routines. Those who know your weaknesses. Della stiffened. Biko snapped his fingers suddenly. Sir. There's one more thing. I checked the estate security timestamp again. And the strange woman entered your house exactly 3 minutes after Torgby left. The room went silent. Della's stomach dropped. So he was coordinating it, he whispered. Nora sobbed. Della, please. You have to stop him before he ruins everything. He won't stop until he gets what he wants. What does he want? Della asked. Nora swallowed painfully. Revenge. Money. Power. All of it. He wants to control me. And by extension, control you. So this isn't just about your past, Della said. It's about destroying my life too. Nora nodded miserably. Biko looked between them. Sir. I think Torgby is trying to set up something much bigger than blackmail. Della turned to him. What do you mean? Biko took a breath. I think he's planning a full public scandal. And the woman in your room is just the beginning. Della froze. Nora froze. Even MMAESI stopped breathing. Biko continued. Sir, there's a second picture. He's about to post it. Biko's hand shook slightly as he held out his phone. Sir, the second picture is uploading now. It hasn't gone public yet, but it's scheduled. Scheduled. Della repeated slowly. His voice was frighteningly calm. As in, planned. Yes, sir, Biko replied. Torgby set it to post automatically. Nora covered her mouth with both hands. Oh God, please no. Della walked closer. His heart hammered with each step, but he kept his face cold. Show me, he said. Biko hesitated only a second, then turned the screen toward him. The picture sucked all the air from the room. It was a photo of Della, taken secretly. As he slept. In the picture, a woman's hand rested on his chest. Not Nora's hand. The nails were long, painted bright red. The same shade the strange woman in his room wore. Nora stumbled backward as if someone had slapped her. No. Della, that's not real. That's edited. That's not you. But Della didn't hear her. His world blurred around the edges. Someone had been in his bedroom, right next to him, while he slept in his own house. And they took a picture. MMAESI's voice cracked with fear. This is bigger than blackmail. This is evil. Deliberate evil. Baiko zoomed in. Sir, the metadata on the image says it was taken 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks. Della whispered. That was the night you came home late from the company dinner, Nora said quickly. You were exhausted. You barely talked. You just collapsed on the bed. Della tried to remember. But the memory was hazy. Baiko swallowed hard. Sir, look at the background. They zoomed again. In the corner of the photo, a shadow. The outline of a man standing near the door. Nora screamed. MMAESI trembled. This is wickedness. Pure wickedness. Della finally spoke. Torgby planned this. He didn't just want money from Nora. He wanted leverage. He wanted to control the narrative. Baiko nodded grimly. Yes, sir. This is enough to accuse you of infidelity. Enough to trend online. Enough to ruin your name permanently. And if Nora tried to defend you, MMAESI added, voice shaking, it would only look worse, like the wife trying to hide her husband's cheating. Nora sobbed into her hands. Della. I never thought he would go this far. I never imagined. Stop, he said. She froze. Della's eyes were dark. Focused. Cold with purpose. This is no longer about your past mistakes, or your lies, or what you hid from me. He turned fully to Baiko. This is war. Baiko straightened. Sir. Torgby wants to ruin my marriage. Della's voice grew sharper. He wants to destroy my reputation, my business, my mother's name. He stepped closer, his jaw tight. Then we fight back. With truth. With evidence. With every legal and financial weapon we have. Baiko nodded firmly. Yes, sir. Nora crawled closer. Della, please, let me help. I know him. I know how he thinks. He looked at her, really looked at her. She was broken, terrified, ashamed. But there was honesty in her eyes that hadn't been there before. Then start talking, Della said. What exactly did Torgby want from you? Nora took a shaky breath. He wanted me to convince you, to invest in his fake business scheme. He said if I didn't help him, he would expose my past. And make sure you left me. Baiko muttered, so he used Nora to get access to you. Della exhaled deeply. Then he's not just attacking us. He's building a case, a scandal, something he wants to erupt publicly. Baiko checked his phone suddenly. Sir, the scheduled post will go live in 20 minutes. Della's eyes darkened completely. Then in 20 minutes, he said softly, we destroy Torgby. How will Della stop the scheduled post? Will Nora help save him, or will another truth explode? Comment your predictions. Stories_Stoner. The house fell into a heavy silence as the countdown began. 19 minutes left. Della paced slowly, his mind racing. Baiko stood ready, phone in hand. Nora trembled, clutching her shawl. MMASI whispered prayers under her breath. Della stopped suddenly. Nora, he said, does Torgby still trust you? She swallowed. Yes. He thinks I'm too scared to expose him. Good, Della replied. That's the only advantage we have. Baiko stepped forward. Sir, we can't hack his account without legal clearance. But we can delay the upload if we distract him long enough. Della turned to Nora. Call him. Nora froze. Now. Call him, Della repeated. Tell him you're ready to cooperate. Tell him you want to meet. Keep him busy. Her hands shook violently as she dialed. The phone rang once. Twice. Then a slow, oily voice answered. Nora, I was just thinking about you. Della mouthed. Put it on speaker. She did. Nora forced her voice to stay steady. Torgby, please. Let's talk. In person. I'm ready to do what you asked. A low chuckle came from the phone. Oh. Now you're ready to betray your sweet husband. Nora bit her lip hard. I'm scared. I don't want him to find out anything. Please. Can we meet? Della's fists clenched at those words, but he stayed silent. Torgby exhaled, amused. I like this new Nora. Meet me at the old warehouse near Graphic Road. You have 10 minutes. The call ended. Baiko quickly checked his system. Sir, the post timer changed. He modified it. It's now set to upload in 10 minutes, not 20. Nora gasped. He's trying to rush everything. Miss, I whispered. This man is possessed. Della took charge instantly. Baiko, track him. Nora, you're not meeting him alone. We're all going. But Della, she started. No. His voice thundered. He wanted war. Let's end it tonight. The warehouse. Night. The rain poured heavily as their car pulled up outside the dark building. Baiko kept scanning his device. He's inside, sir. Alone. Della nodded once. Good. Let's finish this. They stepped into the warehouse. Torgby. Della's voice echoed through the empty space. A figure stepped from the shadows, slowly clapping. Well, well, Torgby smirked. I knew Madame Nora couldn't stay loyal to the truth for long. Della stepped forward, eyes blazing. You entered my home. You took photos of me. You threatened my mother. You tried to destroy my marriage. Torgby shrugged, smiling lazily. Business is business. You drugged me that night, Della said quietly. I remember now. You put something in my drink at the dinner. Torgby laughed. And it worked beautifully, didn't it? Baiko whispered. Sir, the upload timer, 2 minutes left. Della's voice deepened. Give me the password. Torgby shook his head. No. Della stepped closer. Give me the password. Torgby smirked again. I'd rather watch the world burn. Della's jaw twitched. Fine. He turned slightly to Baiko. Call them. Torgby frowned. Call who? Suddenly, bright flashlight beams shot through the warehouse windows. Police. 6 officers stormed inside. Torgby Ayama, you are under arrest for cyber extortion, blackmail, invasion of privacy, and fraud. Torgby's confidence cracked instantly. What? Who called them? Della stared him down. My cousin works with the cybercrime unit. We've been tracking your devices since the moment Baiko arrived. The officers seized Torgby, wrestling him to the ground. Wait. Wait, he screamed. I'll give the password. I'll give it. Della folded his arms. I'm listening. Torgby choked out the code. Baiko typed furiously. Sir, the scheduled post is deleted. Nora collapsed with relief. MMASI raised her hands and whispered, Thank you, Jesus. As they escorted Torgby away, he screamed. Nora, you betrayed me. Della, you've made a powerful enemy. Della walked up to him. No, he said calmly. You made one. The doors slammed shut as Torgby was taken away. Della turned to his family. It's over. But Nora shook her head slowly. No, Della. It's not over. He frowned. What do you mean? She wiped her tears. There's still One more secret I've been hiding. Della froze. Baiko looked up sharply. MMAESI gasped. Nora whispered. It's about Torgby. And me. To be continued. Stories _Stoner.